your forecast first. Sponsored by Matex Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Well, the snow is still out on some sidewalks and obviously on the grass and whatnot, but for the roads, for the most part, they are clear. But man, is it cold. And if you've not treated any of those surfaces out there, they're still going to be slick. Look at Paris right now. With all that snow cover, it is currently 2 outside. 9 in Champaign, but with a wind that we've got wind chills that are below 0. Yes, it feels like 3 below 0 in Champaign right now outside. It is a cold night out there. And as we go throughout the course of tomorrow, we're going to see temperatures not warming up a whole lot with readings starting out around 10 for the kids at the bus stop and only topping out near the mid-30s for highs. It gets better, though. We'll talk about temperatures returning to the 40s soon coming up. WCIA 3 News starts right now.
Now from WCIA 3 News.
We have a really partisan decision, and that's going to hurt our nation, I think.
The president's been impeached, why some say it doesn't matter. Plus, they worked for the state, but now their health insurance has been cut. What's next for former employees?
They want to see what one of the elves is doing.
And it's not your typical job for the elf on the shelf, how he and his friends are putting their skills to good use for a fire department.
You're watching your local news leader. This is WCIA 3 News at 10.
There doesn't seem to be much to be gained politically speaking from the impeachment process for either side.
Some say the entire process is a waste of time and money. Good evening, I'm Paul Cicchini.
And I'm Jessica Coons. Tonight, President Trump became the 3rd U.S. president to be impeached. The articles passed were for abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. People we spoke with in Champaign remember when Bill Clinton was impeached, and they told us there's a huge difference in the political climate between then and now. WCIA 3's Emily Braun is live in our newsroom tonight. So, Emily, because of that, what do they think will happen next?
Jessica, almost everyone I talk to agrees the nation has become so divided and its leaders are so strictly partisan, there's no way President Trump gets removed from office because the people who will vote for it will do it in the way that secures their own votes when it's time for re-election. For the first time in 21 years, a president of the United States has been impeached. And social sciences expert Joseph Walwick says the political climate from then to now has shifted quite a bit.
There were people who were dug in along those lines in the same way we see today. But there was also a time when there was still a lot more crossing the aisle.
Now he says that's not the case. Lawmakers' motives for voting are less about right and wrong and more about win or lose.
The willingness of lawmakers to swing one way or the other is going to be directly related to votes that they think they are going to win or lose in their own constituencies. I don't think we should look for high principles here.
Lorenzo Bolden is the president of one of Champaign's American Legions. He's been around for several presidencies and feels discouraged with this one.
It really hurts my heart as a veteran who has served our country, who has been willing to make the ultimate sacrifice for our country, who believes in the values of this country, the Constitution. And it just seems like, you know, we don't have a president who upholds those values.
Still, there are other veterans I talked to who think this entire process is a waste of time. Walwick thinks the president will be acquitted, just like Bill Clinton and Andrew Johnson, and the entire process will have little to no effect on public opinion, because even when there's evidence, it doesn't even seem to sway the people who are deciding whether or not he stays in office.
Deciding how you're going to vote or what you're going to know before the evidence has even been brought forward is not a good way to run a country.
Some House Democrats asked Speaker Pelosi to delay sending the articles to the Senate because Senate Republicans weren't going to hold a full trial. Pelosi didn't rule that out. But if and when they do go to Senate, it will take a 2/3 vote to actually remove President Trump from office. And that's never happened before in U.S. history. Jessica.
All right, Emily, thank you so much for the report. Congressman Ronnie Davis voted against those articles of impeachment. Congressman John Shimkus was not there for the hearings. He's visiting his son in Tanzania. He released a statement, part of it saying, quote, "I'm disappointed to miss these votes, but not embarrassed. I'm embarrassed that they are even happening."
DNA evidence led police to an man accused of sexually assaulting a 5-year-old in Decatur. Jarquez Hobbs was arrested in Peoria yesterday. Police say the assault happened in August. They collected DNA evidence and a fingerprint at the crime scene. A warrant was issued for Hobbs' arrest last week. No word yet on the motive behind a double murder in Iroquois County. Matthew Borden of Melvin is accused of the killings. Police say he shot and killed Brian Musk and Pamela Williams before driving to Colorado and leading police on a high-speed chase. They say Borden stole a car in Milford, drove it to Sheldon, got rid of it, stole 2 more cars, including one in Iowa, before reaching Colorado. Troopers there saw him driving a stolen Toyota Camry. After the chase, Borden crashed the car and shot at police. He was found dead next to the vehicle. New at 10, traffic is backed up on one interstate after a truck caught fire tonight. It's just south of the Pasodum exit on 57 in Champaign County. Authorities say a mechanical issue started it. No one was hurt. Northbound traffic is being rerouted off the interstate at Tuscola. State police are asking drivers to use an alternate route.
A proposed sales tax could help save a county jail. Edgar County board members will put a tax referendum on the March ballot. It would be a 1% safety tax. That money would go to the sheriff's department, and from there, it could go toward fixing the jail. It's been closed since December 1st. Insurers said the jail was too much of a liability to cover and did not meet state standards. Major changes are coming to pension funds for most police officers and firefighters across the state. Governor Pritzker signed a new bill into law today to consolidate downstate and suburban pension funds. WCIA 3's Capitol Bureau Chief Mark Maxwell is live in Springfield for us tonight. Mark, the plan won wide bipartisan support in Springfield.
Jessica, that's in large part because of how many cities and towns across Illinois are drowning in pension debt. Just a few months back, we took you to many of them, from Danville to Decatur, from East St. Louis to Harvey, Illinois. Many cities and towns have had to cut core government services, in some cases, including police and fire staffing levels. Now, Governor Pritzker is taking these steps, signing this bill into law, hoping to put those cities onto better fiscal footing moving forward. They're going to combine the nearly 650 downstate and suburban police and fire pension funds into 2 major super funds here, one for police and one for fire, to pool together a pot of $15 billion. They hope that will yield higher returns, and it could cut down on overhead. But in recent days, some conservative critics say Governor Pritzker's cost savings estimates are overblown and that this fix doesn't go nearly far enough. Today, as after he signed the bill, the governor had his say for the naysayers.
There are organizations in the state that just want to beat up on the state of Illinois, even though they live here, and not recognize that we all know their challenges and that we're addressing them. And maybe they would like some, silver bullet, one-time solution to everything. It doesn't exist.
Could this be the final bill Governor Pritzker signs into law in 2019? His first full year in office. Time will tell. A few weeks left in this year. The governor now says he's setting his sights on the state-level pension issues that have gripped Illinois for nearly a century in his second year in office. One other important note for police officers or firefighters in our audience: it's important to know that if you have disability claims or pension benefit questions, any of that, all of those benefits are still administered at the local level, not at the state. So you'll still go to your local pension fund board or your union or your employer for those benefits. Jessica?
Good to know. All right, Mark, thanks so much.
Here's an update to a story we have been covering for years. After a nearly decade-long court battle, a bed and breakfast in Paxton will have to pay thousands of dollars to a couple that wasn't allowed to hold their civil union ceremony there. Timber Creek Bed and Breakfast has to pay more than $81,000 to Todd and Mark Wathan. The two wanted the ceremony there in 2011, but the owner wouldn't allow it. The suit said it was because of their sexual orientation. The Illinois Human Rights Commission ordered the owner to pay the couple thousands and cease and desist from discrimination. The Office of the Attorney General stepped in last year and filed its own suit against the B&B, claiming the owner didn't follow the issued orders. The ACLU gave us this statement tonight saying, quote, "This upholds the Human Rights Act process. When the commission comes down with an order and damages, it has to be paid and not ignored." Retired state employees were recently told their Medicare health insurance would be terminated by the end of the year.
That's leaving them with few options and forcing them to figure out last-minute coverage. WCIA 3's Jennifer Jensen is with us. So Jennifer, why is this happening?
Jessica, a letter was sent to Health Alliance members dated November 3rd. Retirees 65 and older were told that they did not select a Medicare Advantage prescription drug plan during the open enrollment period. That ended on November 15th. Since they were eligible for that plan, they can't keep their current health insurance coverage, which will be discontinued at the end of the year. They can't enroll for Medicare until the next open enrollment in the fall of 2020. In the meantime, members who this affects are saying they have to switch insurance providers. For some, that comes with a hefty hike in premium costs. It's unknown how many people this has affected. Senator Chapin Rose has received calls asking what can be done in the future to avoid insurance being suddenly dropped off in situations like this. But right now, he says there are more questions than answers. He's contacted the Illinois Central Management Services to find out why it came to this point for many retirees. And he also said he plans to bring this issue up at next year's legislative session. Health Alliance says anyone experiencing this problem can call their office in Champaign. We'll have that information on our website at WCIA.com. Back to you.
Hopefully they can get some more answers, Jennifer. Thanks. Some other healthcare news. OSF Healthcare recently announced it dropped Meridian Insurance. After months of discussions with the company, OSF says they failed to honor their agreement and would not resolve outstanding accounts. OSF claims Meridian owes them millions of dollars for outstanding claims for services provided in the past 5 years.
Some students had unexpected days off this week, while some won't need to go back even when classes resume tomorrow.
Plus, this elf on the shelf is a new gig, how he and a few friends are helping keep families safe for the holidays.
And it's a big day for Illinois football as high school recruits commit.